Labor Day here. That means a new school year and maybe some big changes to college admissions, courtesy of a case that will be heard by the United States Supreme Court this fall, the ramifications of which could reach far beyond the walls of colleges and universities. So what we've come to call affirmative action and racial preferences in American life could be changing. Kenny Zhu is the president of Color Us United and author of An Inconvenient Minority, and he joins us now to discuss. Kenny, thank you very much for taking the time. This has the potential to be very explosive. The case is against Harvard University and the University of North Carolina, accusing them of discrimination. First, tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, I would love to tell you about it. So in 2014, Students for Fair Admissions, which is a group that is suing Harvard University and the University of North Carolina for race-based discrimination. They filed a lawsuit in the district courts of their respective states, alleging that Asian Americans are being discriminated by Harvard's diversity policies, which is absolutely true. An Asian American has to score about 275 points higher on the SAT to have the same chance of admission as a black student, and over 50 points higher to have the same chance of admission as a white student. And the reason why Harvard does this is because they want certain minorities. They don't want all minorities. They don't want too many Asians. They want the minorities that matter to them. And what this shows is that this affirmative action case is going to split, I think, the whole idea, the left's whole idea of racial victimhood. Yeah. Because if they can just say, well, you're black, so you're a victim, but you're Asian, so therefore you're privileged, and therefore we get to discriminate against you, that will show the entire world the falsity of the left's entire racial premise. And this is why this is a great lawsuit.
Yeah, you know, Edward Blum, the president of the group bringing the suit, Students for Fair Admissions, told the Washington Times this week, quote, "This case may end the use of race in college admissions, but hopefully also create a roadmap for ending these ever-present racial classification boxes that are used in other areas of our lives, such as employment and contracting. These race boxes are pathways to discrimination." Mr. Zhu, you know, I'm going to come from a place that is going to assume that early on, perhaps, this was a well-intentioned policy. But we haven't just seen the impacts of this in colleges and universities. Talk to us a little bit more about the impacts of race-based preferences on larger society.
I would love to. So I'm president of a group called Color Us United, colorusunited.org, and we're fighting this ideology in corporate America right now. American Express, if you go to our website, unamericanexpress.com, you can see all of the evidence, has been giving 15% bonuses to hiring managers so that they can fire more white employees and hire more black and female employees. So this active judgment on the basis of background that has started with Harvard's system has now leaked into the entire corporate world, and we have to fight back.
Mr. Zhu, if the court rules in favor of the students, talk to us about how this could impact, you know, American life generally. Are we going back to a time where, you know, it was content of character, not necessarily color of skin? Is that what you're trying to do here?
100%. Justice John Marshall Harlan, in his one lone dissent in the case Plessy versus Ferguson, which, remember, was a sordid chapter in American history. He was the only dissenter, said that the Constitution is absolutely colorblind. The Constitution removes the race line from all of our institutions. That's what I'm fighting for as president of Color Us United. If you want to get my book about it, it's called An Inconvenient Minority. It details the scope of this Harvard case, its consequences on America. But I truly believe that we can be a colorblind America. That's the ideals with which we should strive for.
Mr. Zhu, what do you tell folks who will, of course, charge that limiting or eliminating sort of the affirmative action or race-based preferences is going to lead to the depressing of racial minority access to employment or education? Because you know that that's what the criticism is going to be from the left, who want to keep this in place. What's your response to that?
So look, I think that race should play no factor in your hiring or promotional ability. I think that when it does, it's only going to create long-term negative effects for the minorities with which they're helping. Why? Because everyone wants to believe, and everyone should believe, that when they're on a team, everybody's in the same position, right? But if we start to enforce policies that say, well, you're X race or you're Y gender, and this is why you're on this team, then people are going to stop respecting you. And that's the truth. And maybe they have some justification to stop respecting you when these policies like this are allowed to exist. We cannot sacrifice qualifications for the sake of diversity. And that's, I think, this case.
All right. Kenny Zhu, president of Color Us United. Thank you for your courage. I know this could not, this was not easy for you to do, and particularly in this environment, to come out and to speak out and to help advance this case. And we appreciate you breaking it down for us. And we're going to have you back as the oral argument occurs and we await a decision. Thank you so much for being here.
Definitely. Thank you.